26. Shema now, and it's our practice as a community to take some moments of reflection. Shema asks us to listen to all things on one. And so tonight we're going to reflect on this idea of repetition. It's actually a sacred idea of repetition. So the question for you tonight is, what is repeating in your life? Lessons, patterns, either for yourself, in relationship to someone else, or what you're seeing in the communities and world around us. What's repeating? Repeating keeps coming back again and again, wanting to be heard and seen over and over. Yeah? Thinking about that for a moment? Okay, so now you're going to turn to somebody near you, and you're going to share with them about that. And on Zoom, you're going to go into breakout groups and share about that question. What's repeating? Go ahead.
Good information is I've been going to gym for
Big breath in, releasing the week that just passed out. Big breath in, releasing. Inhaling on your heart and big exhale. You got a big breath in, making you warm for so much more. Feeling your feet, moving down your spine, reaching down and reaching up at the same time. So much beautiful space in the belly and the pelvis and the rib cage. Glorious container. Breath. Fill up that container. Taking our time with the Shema, one breath per word. Here we go, breathing in. Move from these truths of the net into always love, into a strength of heart, also called courage. Strength of heart, courage. So much heart inside of what we're talking about in Torah right now. This is one of the things that we can do with our hearts. Open hands, wise hearts, generous hearts, we can have strong hearts. Courage. Michamocha is on your green song sheet, which you don't have any songs come out to please sing it as an offering, giving strength to each other's hearts.
This first beginning part is not on the read sheet, so don't be confused.
What I just want to take this opportunity to thank Noah. He worked so hard
Everything is fucked right now. No, we're just playing. What is happening right now?
Thank you. Take a breath and you go like that. Probably we're on edge about everything anyway. Aaron, please, you can share with us a little bit of your passion, will you?
So we've spoken a lot the last few weeks about this month of Adar. In fact, it's a double Adar. We're in the leap year, the Jewish leap year, and in this time we learn in the Talmud that it's not only that we're meant to have joy at this moment, but there's this notion of marbim besimcha. We're actually supposed to be increasing our joy. Joy is at a premium right now. We really want to find that joy. And it's not lost on me that I'm directed to be joyous right now in this moment. It might feel challenging. It might feel out of touch. It might even feel insensitive or even crass. In a world where we're feeling a lot of heaviness, and maybe personal tragedy and personal loss. And so what do we do in this moment of being commanded with this directive of marbim besimcha, to be increasing in our joy? So I want to share an important verse from Megillat Esther, from our Purim story. And part of the reason it's important is it shares, there's actually 4 commandments on Purim. One of them is just to read the Megillah, and the other 3 are in this verse. So in chapter 9, verse 22 of Esther, we're going to read in just a week, the same days on which the Jews enjoyed relief from their foes, and the same month which had been transformed for them from one of grief and mourning to one of festive joy. They were to observe them as days of feasting and merrymaking, as an occasion for sending gifts to one another and presents to the poor. So those 3 were the feasts. We're supposed to have a Purim feast. We're supposed to give gifts to each other. Mishloach manot is what those are called. And then we're also supposed to give to those who have less, those who are less fortunate, those who are in need. We call that mitzvah, that commandment, matanot la'evyonim, gifts to those who are in need. And so the Rambam, Maimonides, a great scholar and halachist who put together Jewish law for us, he extrapolates further on how we think about this matanot la'evyonim. He teaches us that one is obligated to distribute charity to the poor on the day of Purim, and at the very least to give to two different people some combination of money, cooked dishes, or other foods. And then he takes it further, and he elaborates. He says, one who brings happiness to the hearts of these unfortunate individuals resembles the divine presence. Right? Giving to someone else and bringing them happy, that's a way that we actually are reflections of God, the divine. And so I want to focus on the earlier part of this verse, where we read that the same days that we enjoyed relief, the grief and mourning was also transformed. We read nefach lahem, nefach, nafochu. Another way of understanding this is that we've turned the world upside down. That's the whole theme of Purim. That we get to dress up, we put on masks, and even in a world that's full of heaviness and tragedy, we can turn it on its head. And so, as we enter the Hashkiv tonight, as I'm being very gently reminded we're heading into a prayer for peace, what I want us to think about is this notion of matanot la'evyonim. It's the way that we have this opportunity to nahafochu, to turn the world on its head. Right? We don't get to magically snap our fingers and bring peace and harmony to a world that right now does not feel that way. We don't automatically just heal the grief or the pain that's in our own lives. But this moment of matanot la'evyonim, over these next few weeks of giving to two different organizations that we really care about, or two different folks who just ask us that they need a little extra help, two people in our community who we know need anonymous help. That's the way that we get to fulfill this commandment of Marbim Besimcha, bring a little bit more joy in this leap year of Adar. Shabbat Shalom.
42.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Ushmot Zetenu Uvoenu Lechaim Ushalom Be'atare Adonai. Shalom, 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 shalom. page 44. Veshalu b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat לעשות את השבת אותה
If you are able to rise, I invite you to rise now for the Amidah, the standing prayer. It begins on page 46 in this opening meditation. And then since it's nighttime, we enter into silent prayer. So take the time that you need to pray the prayers of the prayer book and, importantly, the prayers of your heart tonight, whatever those are. So we begin together on 46. And when you're complete with your prayers, you may be seated.
Ya na 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 Adonai. Ya na 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 Satai Titai. Ya na 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 Ufi Agi
If you're still in your personal prayer, please continue. We're going to turn collective prayer now. An ancient prayer for the release, please God, of the captives.
מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב, שרה רבקה רחל ולאה, הוא יברך וישמור וינצור את הנדרים ואת השבויים בתוך שער אחינו בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה ובשביה. בעבור שהקהל הזה מתפלל עבורם, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם ויוציאם מחושך וצל מוות ומסורתיהם ינתק, צוקותיהם יושיעם וישיבם מהרה לחיק משפחותיהם. יודו לאדוני חסדו ונפלאותיו לבני אדם, ויקיים בהם מקרא שכתוב פדויי אדוני ישובון, ובאו ציון ברינה ושמחת עולם על ראשם, ששון ושמחה ישיגו ונסו יגון ונחת, ונאמר
Turn our prayers now to all those in need of a healing. Invite you to call to your mind all those who are in need of a healing now. We pray for them. We pray for the Cholim. Please say their names aloud. We pray for them for a refuah shlema, a healing of wholeness. Refuat Nefesh, for refuat guf, a healing of the soul and a healing of the body. Elna Rafanala, God, please heal her. Elna Rafanalo, God, please heal him. Elna Rafanalahen, God, please heal them. For Elna Rafanali, God, please heal me. The healing of wholeness, refuah shlema. Rafanalo. Elna Rafanalahen. Rafanali, heal me. When we open up our Torah scroll, we're finding that we're still in the wilderness. So welcome to the continuing wilderness. It goes and goes and goes, keeps going. I've had the opportunity in the last couple of weeks to be traversing wilderness in Aotearoa in New Zealand. Beautiful bush, as they call the wilderness. Trees and rivers and lakes and waterfalls. It was incredible to be with family, to honor the memory of my aunt, and to be immersed in such profound beauty. And then I have returned to a different kind of wilderness, to the wilderness of our lives in this moment, all that's unfolding in our community. It's an overwhelming time in these past weeks since I've been home. There have been crises of health in our community, of loss of housing. And there have been, and there is, ongoing pain in our city, in our region, in our country, in Israel, Palestine, in Ethiopia, in Ukraine. Overwhelming wilderness. Kind of missing being in the bush. And yet this is what is here now in these times. I've heard two different people say this week, historically unprecedented times. Is that true, or is in every moment of history it was historically unprecedented times? I mean, I could feel what the people were trying to represent in the bigness of what this feels like. And one of the things that's profoundly incredible about being a Jewish person is knowing that we've had historically unprecedented times for thousands of years. And our people keep going, finding resilience and love and strength and struggle. So here in Torah, part of how we keep going, here in Torah is this wilderness. And there is so much about the lev, so much about the heart in this moment, the heart-mind of the lev. We have journeyed. We were having some incredible moments. We left the narrow place of Mitzrayim. We were at the mountain that shaked, and then we were given so many commandments. And then we were told to do this building project, and we got a lot of details. And it began with each of us giving from our hearts, what our hearts moved us to give. Nadiv lev, a generous heart. That was the beginning of this building project, is to find generosity in our hearts. And then the next stage was to find the skilled artists who could do the building. And they were described as having wise hearts. Chachmat lev. They had wise hearts. We need generous hearts. We need wise hearts to build this dwelling place for God's presence amongst us. That's what the Mishkan is. We are building in the wilderness a sacred place for God's presence to be, for the divine presence to be amongst us. So we're in it right now in Torah. We're in it. We're in the building, and it's our second time around. Rabbi Aaron shared with you when I was away about the big incident of the molten calf and the big mistake, and then what it meant, what it means to repair and to continue on. And so now here we are in the going again. We gave again, we're building again. And we are told in the very first verse of this parsha, back into the building, these are the records of the Mishkan of the witness, of the testimony. Hamishkan, Mishkan Ha'edut. There is a double here, Hamishkan, Mishkan. And if you are a Torah commentator, that makes you very excited. We got a double, everybody. Feeling that every word is sacred and here for a reason, when we get a double, it's very exciting. And inside of the stretching of these words, why would there be a double right now? What does that mean? The Sfat Emet, the Ger Rebbe, sees this 19th century rabbi and connects this moment with another moment where there's a double, where Moses is at the burning bush. And when God calls to Moses at the burning bush, there's a Moshe moment, a double Moses. Moshe, V'yomer Hineni. God calls out Moses, Moses, and Moses answers, Hineni, I am here. Here I am. So the Sfat Emet says, it is just like this. It's like this double where Moses is called twice. When Moses is called twice, we hear that Moses is this coming together of the divine and a human. The coming together of the sacred and the everyday, the divine and the human. And Moses holds all of this inside of Moses' self. The Sfat Emet says this is wholeness, holding our divine and our humanness together. And that's what the Mishkan is doing. It's a dwelling place amongst us to connect with the divine. This place of bringing together, a place of wholeness, shalom, shalem, wholeness. So here's an invitation that a repetition is a sacred moment. A repetition could be a sacred portal, a connection point between the divine and our everydayness. Repetition, really? Repetition? Yes, repetition. When it comes around again, that thing that I always do, that place that I always find myself, that pattern that I'm always in, that's a sacred portal? Well, maybe it can be. We, friends, in our own personal lives, we repeat a lot. And if this is a news to you, you're like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. No, you're not the only one. It is how we find our life's path. It is how we find our spiritual curriculum. And it's how we find who we are from the repetitions that come to us. And when they come around again, perhaps there's a way to say to them, welcome, hi, welcome back. I knew you'd be coming. What could be an opportunity this time? Here you are, this pattern, this way of relating to the world, this way I've stumbled into this repetition again and again. What would it mean to bring wholeness here? What would that look like this time? If the question was asked, what about this moment of repetition involves the possibility of connecting the sacred fully in me into the wholeness of what's happening? Wholeness, acknowledging, integrating, thinking about what new possibilities a repetition can bring. This week I had the opportunity to study with Rabbi Julia Watts-Belzer. Again, I've studied with her before, and I always learn a great deal. She's a rabbi and a scholar and a writer who has much Torah to share. And in this session, she was sharing about her new book that shares her disability wisdom. And it has such an exceptional title, I have to say. I'm in a place of trying to find titles. So if you're a title person, I know we have one title, excellent title maker over there. If you're a title person, you know who you are. I'd like to talk to you. Sometimes I just have like title envy. It is an incredible title. Listen to the title of her book. Loving Our Own Bones, Disability Wisdom, and the Spiritual Subversiveness of Knowing Ourselves Whole. the spiritual subversiveness of knowing ourselves whole. She taught beautiful Torah, but I was like, before the session ends, you gotta talk about that title. And she said that wholeness and arriving into wholeness as a paradigm was so important for her. It opened up so many things, and she sees it all over our tradition, this urging towards wholeness. And it's a different lens than what we usually see in disability. It's a different lens in what we often hold in our struggles, as various and diverse as we are. Really, though, repetition and wholeness, I know that sometimes can feel hard because it can feel more encouraging to just shut it out. To shut it out, to not want to go around here again. Let's not go around here again. Especially in relationship, when we move from the personal and my own patterns into what we are doing together. And when those go round and round and round, sometimes we want to shut that down and shut that off and be like, yeah, I know the rest of the story. Let's not talk. But here too, in this dynamic, in this discourse, in this round and round again, what if we stopped in it and said, I feel we're going around again. It's a repetition. It's an invitation. It's an invitation for wholeness, for greater wholeness, for seeing what could be possible here. What could change? What could shift? What could move so that this repetition looks different, holds more expanse, holds more possibility? I'm not saying it's not going to come around again. It might. But it will be changed by that. That moment of asking, somebody's got to name it. I think we've done this before. I think we've had this conversation maybe 100 times. I'm hearing from some of you in the community that you're trying to have conversations right now that are difficult. And they're particularly painful with your kids or your parents or your siblings or your aunts and uncles and others in your life, but especially these family conversations. Difficult conversations. Many of you are sharing it's hard to talk about Israel and Palestine. And that you've told me they've gone badly, these conversations, a couple of times, and now you're out. Or they've told you they're out. What would it look like to come back? To come back into the conversation, to allow the repetition to open to a new way. To open to a new way of hearing or connecting with each other. I'm not saying that this is easy. I'm not saying that entering into repeated conversations that always go the same way is easy. But I do want to, with all of the ometz lev we've been talking about earlier, with the strength of heart, encourage you to go back into the repetition of those conversations in a new way, in what could be possible. This past weekend, Palestinian activist Sally Abed and Israeli activist Alon Lee from Omdim B'Yachad were here in LA. Tali, the musician who's with us, she plays all those recorders. You know if you've seen her because she plays them like multiple at once. Anyway, she was one of the organizers of this get-together, and a group of us had a Shabbat dinner with them, and they were talking to us about the urgencies and the complexities of shifting what's happening in civil society in Israel to create and organize a larger voice for the desperate need for security and dignity and survival and human rights for everyone who lives in the land. And we talked about many, many things. And as you know, I continue to uplift the voices of Israelis and Palestinians who are talking about their contexts, where they live, with clarity from being a person who lives there. And I know too that our context is different from where we live here. And knowing that, I said to them, I know that this is not your context, that you're in a very specific one, and everything you've shared about what you're trying to do and how you're organizing and your particular strategy, many, many strategies, this is theirs to shift civil society. Can I just ask, though, for a moment of reflection on what you think is happening over here? And Alumni took a big sigh and was like, wow, you guys are going through something over here with your discourse. It's like you can't talk to each other. And he shared his urging that we try and open up the narratives that are happening here, to start to talk about what's happening there as peoples trying to figure out how to share the land and to change the narrative. And the second thing he asked us to do is to think about what we can do, which is about the US government. And some of you saw the letter that we shared from Chua, Rabbis for Human Rights, on that topic. And it gave me pause in hearing, in some ways, an outsider's reflection on what's happening here. And it made me think about how important it is to know the context from which we're speaking and to ask for others who are not right where we are to tell us what they are seeing and thinking about what's happening. There is an incredible chasm. It started as fissures, but have become chasms in our community. Chasms between generations. Chasms between Israeli Jews and American Jews. Chasms between, I don't even know what the word is anymore. Maybe there's another request for a title. But organized Jewish community, is that a word? Institutional Jewish community? And those who are not part of that. And who gets to speak and how and when on behalf of whom? Part of my practice in this time is to continue to connect with and engage with folks in our community who have a different perspective than I do on what is happening. Partially because I know that we are not hearing from each other. And when we don't share with each other, how are we going to urge and nudge each other and help each other to grow and change? And of course we know this is not just around Israel-Palestine that we are not connecting with each other around perspectives that are not our own. And it's also because I see repeated perspectives speaking for the whole of the Jewish community, and there is so much complexity and gorgeous diversity in who we are and how we think and feel and relate to the world. And I am desperately worried about what is happening and what will happen in the future of our people if we cannot connect with each other. But I'm not saying that it's easy. I don't want you to think, oh yeah, my rabbi said I should call you since we fight all the time and let's have an easy conversation. That is not what I'm saying. David shared a podcast this week with Sally and I. It's one that I have heard before. It's For Heaven's Sake from the Hartman Institute. And this particular one, Doniel Hartman and Yossi Klein Halevi are speaking about differences between the two of them around what's happening with the food crisis, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. And at some point, Yossi had this
sum up moment where he said, I see. When things are happening, my perspective is, oh, look at what those others are doing to the name of the Jewish people. And what you are saying is we need to look at what we ourselves are doing to the name of the Jewish people. We need to be holding both of those. And we need to be in situations where we can at least attempt to build the trust, or hopefully we have enough trust with someone where we can have these conversations. You know that we are doing this here at Nefesh, or some of you know that. We're having repeated and ongoing, structured, facilitated conversations so that we can have the difficult conversations together. And if you want to hear more about that, I hope that you will ask us. And one thing we are wondering about is whether or not it would make sense to do one of these dialogues in which you bring a family member in which you're having a hard time talking with. So that's a question. That might be something you want to share if that feels like it would be useful. Conversations alone are not going to bring the change we need. It is not only about endless listening and sharing, but conversations can lead to actionable change, to actionable requests. This is part of having a difficult conversation. I'm listening to you. I'm sharing from my perspective. And now the next step, I'm going to make a request of something you can do, or in a very Jewish way, don't do. That is part of what it means to be able to come into a situation that feels like it's always the same, and we always repeat it and say, let's not do that same thing. Let's listen fully to your perspective. Will you be willing to hear mine? And then can we ask each other what we need for there to be change and to make requests? Believe me, I know, because I've been making requests. That doesn't mean the person has to agree to do that. That doesn't always happen. But when we're not having the conversations, we're not in a place where we can even get there. Repetition can be an opening, can call forward a sacred opening to new possibilities. Repetitions in my own self, repetitions with me and you, repetitions in our community, repetitions in what's happening in the broader world around us. May you see your repetitions. May you open them up, and may they lead to greater wholeness for you and for your relationships and for our communities, and may they create, please God, possibilities for change. Shabbat Shalom.
How many times the wind and tears and holding on in the rain? How many times the light and dark, the dreaming and the pain, over and over and over, playing out the timeline. Over and over and over, playing out the timeline. Friend mountains and the strangers beneath the clouds. Up and down moves birth and death. The poets in the square putting it down, trying to get it right. Try over and over and over, playing out the timeline. Over and over and over, playing out the timeline. What you know you forget. You believe in myth. What you know you forget. You believe in myth. Over and over and over, playing out the timeline. Over and over and over, playing out the timeline. Over and over and over, playing out the timeline. Over and over and over, playing out the timeline.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. Let me adjust this. My name is Adriana Gordon. And if this is your first time at Nefesh and you're comfortable with it, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand and identify yourself. Wow. Look around. Look at all these beautiful first-time faces. If you're on Zoom, do the same. Maybe put your name into the Zoom chat for us. I was asked to share a little bit about my experience as Nefesh kin. What I want to say first is how absolutely welcomed that I felt the first time I walked into this beautiful space. Before I even sat down, I was greeted with genuine interest and so much warmth that it had me returning again and again at every available opportunity. I'm obviously moved, as many of you are, by Rabbi Susan's beautiful words, but I keep coming back for the fellowship that I have found in this community. My hope is that you all will find something here that you love and that you will keep coming back. We're really, really glad to have you here. At Nefesh, we have a unique membership model that we call kinship. It helps us keep things going. It, keeps the quote-unquote lights on. It pays Noah to, help the explosions from stopping and all the funky things that happen. And what is unique about our model here is that it is not a set fee. It's whatever works for you as an individual, which I think it's a model that is so reflective of the vision for inclusion and access here at Nefesh. And I want you to think about if there's something that you can do to participate in a deeper way. You can check out more about the kinship model at nefeshla.org to find out more details. I'm a relative newcomer here. I decided last year to start exploring my Sephardic roots. And I went to some other places, I went to some other services, and they were fantastic. They were wonderful, lots of great people, lots of great music. And then a friend of mine said, girl, I found a place you gotta come to. And I was like, all right, let's see what this is about. Whew. I knew it was something special the moment I walked in the door. That was August of last year, and I haven't looked back. And, the truth is that I dragged my feet before becoming kin because I worried that I wasn't able to offer enough. And as the calendar year turned over to 2024, I pledged that I was going to get past my ego around that and that I was going to offer what I am able as a sign of faith that I am investing in my future and making my spiritual home here at Nefesh. So if you've been attending for a while, and if you're anything like me and you're wondering, is this enough? It's enough. Whatever it is, it's enough. If you're not in a position to become kin, if you're not in a position to give regularly, but you'd like to support us, you can support Nefesh with a one-time donation. And we welcome with gratitude whatever it is that you have to offer. Again, you can check out all the details about any of this on nefeshla.org. You can talk to me or Jordana afterwards. If you want to know more about this, you can go online and do a virtual tea chat with someone who can answer your questions. No matter what, we hope to see you at another Shabbat service or any of the number of wonderful activities that you see coming up on the Nefesh calendar. Thank you so much for letting me share. Shabbat Shalom.
Wow. Hi, y'all. Sorry, I'm going to touch the mic a lot and make a lot of sounds. Hi, I'm Jordana. I'm the executive director of Nefesh. It's my honor to hold that role. It's my honor to welcome you to Shabbat, and it's my honor to say Shabbat Shalom. It is also my honor to share the announcements. My singular honor. Since we last spoke, which was a couple of Shabbat services ago, we announced some really rad programming that thank you. There it is. We announced some really rad programming that I want to share with you. One, we're doing at the end, the last weekend of Passover, the second weekend of Passover, there's only two. The second weekend of Passover, we're doing an overnight trip to Manzanar, to the 55th pilgrimage to Manzanar, which was a Japanese internment camp during World War II. We're going to camp out for a night. We're going to go to Manzanar itself. We're going to do a Shabbaton. We're going to do this in interfaith fellowship with our Buddhist friends at University of the West. And I invite you to join us. I invite you to check it out. It's going to be April 26th to the 27th. Another thing that we announced is Spring Musar with Rabbi Susan, which is going to kick off on April 7th. If you have not participated in this and you've been coming around to Nefesh, let me tell you how much more sense everything is going to make after you do. I really encourage you to sign up. It's a 3-part series. In each session, Rabbi Susan is going to explore a different midah, or maybe sometimes a couple of midot, and these are our deepest Jewish values. I encourage you to sign up. Again, that's going to start on Sunday, April 7th. And you would be disappointed if I did not mention that 1 week from Sunday is Purim. No, 1 week from Saturday. I would be disappointed if I told you it was on Sunday, because it's not. It's on Saturday. Okay, Saturday night, March 23rd, it is our second annual Drag Purim. Drag yourself to Shushan. Get over there. We're going to be at the Highland Park Ebel. It's going to be a lot of flippin' fun, y'all. Come on out. I know many of you already have your tickets, but if you don't, do it. Okay. The last thing I want to say to you is that next Friday night, we're going to be doing Shabbat community dinners hosted by kin in their homes. The next time we are together for a Shabbat service is going to be the first Friday in April, and I hope to see you all there. As Adriana said, if you have any questions about any of the things that she shared or anything that you've experienced tonight, please come find me. I'll be around during the dessert oneg. Shabbat shalom.
Yes, we're doing a Muslim-Jewish gathering, an iftar. It's the Ramadan break the fast and the fast of Esther that are coming together on that night, Thursday night. But why announce it if you can't come? Because it's full. So that's why we weren't announcing it. But we are doing it. Sometimes when we're like, you got to sign up now, everybody, we mean it. This particular one, yeah, it's full. Okay, who's got joyful things for the Elenu? Who has joyful things? Please. Oh, yeah, I heard that too. Happy birthday, Sasha. We already celebrated Stephen. He wasn't able to hear that earlier on your new position, so yay. Yay to you in your new position at Jutina. Yes. Maya Dori. You are what? Woo! Yeah, excellent. Okay, anybody else? I know there's more joy in this room. Yes, thank you, Deborah. Wow, b'chatzlacha for the marathon. That's awesome. Yes. A potential new cat. Very joyful. Yes. Oh, wonderful. Long-term, 9-month project of Sam's is getting off the ground. I am repeating for the Zoom, which I repeatedly get told to do. Yes. You just visited your family in Houston and Pittsburgh. Beautiful. Yes, Olivia. Your grandfather's here. Welcome. Sally, I believe your brother is here.
Yeah. Oh, you took my joyful thing.
Say it anyway.
My brother's here.
Yes, your brother is here. Rich, welcome. Yes. Woohoo! B'sha'a tova. B'sha'a tova. Let's all stand on the joy. Aleinu, 282.
There will come a day. 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 Bayom ha'u, bayom ha'u, bayom ha'u, bayom ha'u. Hey, ah, hey, ah, hey, ah. Hey, ah, hey, ah, hey, ah. עלינו לשבח, לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם ידינו כעת, ודור עלינו ככל עמונה, אנחנו קוראים, משתחווים ומודים,
So we conclude every service in the Jewish tradition honoring the memory of those who have died. It's the Kaddish prayer. We will collectively be mourning the deaths in Israel and in Palestine, and we ask that if you're coming forward into this mourner circle, that you are mourning the deaths of those in your life, either that have died in the past year or who have died this week in past years, so that it's an anniversary, a yahrzeit. So if you are a mourner, we invite you now to come forward and to make a circle here. And we're going to have to make an odd circle, but it's still kind of a wort-filled circle. Yeah, there we go. Maybe oval-ish. Beautiful. We can make room if we need to, make more room. Come on up. Beautiful. Okay, thank you. So we're going to go around, and if you're comfortable saying the name of the person who you're honoring with saying Kaddish, please tell us. If you don't want to, just turn to the next person, and they'll know to go.
My Uncle Jerry Goldsmith and my Aunt Haida Goldsmith.
Thank you. Sonia just read the names of those who were written in the chat for those of you on Zoom. The Kaddish prayer is on page 294. Osei shalom bimrama, uya asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol ha'olam, v'imru. Amen. May the one who brings comfort bring comfort to each of you who mourn. We say amen. We'll sing now for that shalom, for that wholeness and shalom, peace. Osei shalom. If you're comfortable, you can ask your neighbor if you can wrap your arm around them, or we could just sway side to side. Please, if you're on the Zoom, you can reach your hands out towards us. We will feel you with us. Osei shalom.
Osei shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Now we will stay right where we are, and there will be grape juice and challah, and we will do the kiddush, and after it, we will go outside for the oneg.
סברי לחיים.
לחיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קדישנו במצוותיו ורצבנו ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים לחיים ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ אמן בתיאבון שבת שלום Shabbat shalom, hey! Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey! Hey! Shabbat, 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey! Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, hey.
Shabbat Shalom,
hey. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom.
מי שנכנס אדר, מי שנכנס אדר, אוי אוי אוי, מי שנכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה, מי שנכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה. מי שנכנס אדר מי שנכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה מי שנכנס אדר מרבים עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. 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 עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי. עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי. עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי. עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי. עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל, עם ישראל עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל,
עם ישראל,
עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי,
עוד אבינו חי.
עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, 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 עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל Good Shabbos. Good Purim.